All right, in this video, we're gonna look at Piggy's Suicune building team. So this is her setup right now, depending on the situation when she gets to see the berry and the ingredient that the dish type that she rolls. So there's a few things here. Of course, you're going to use for ingredients and berries, the Vaporeon. She's got a well-invested Vaporeon, nearly level 60. Great skills, level 7, main skill level. The only issue is when you get too much ingredients, that's going to be a problem. You just end up selling those ingredients. Yeah. So hopefully you can utilize those ingredients well, but if not, you might actually need to rotate that Vaporeon out because it's not even berry finding. For Suicune event, you do want berry finding for Vaporeon, so rotate it out once you got enough ingredients, but otherwise you can use it. You can start stacking the stuff now. We've got Pigtail. It'll be one of your healers on this team to help you maintain your energy levels throughout the week. Berry finding is good, helping speed is good, skill level up is good, and you're gonna get one bonus skill level because it's a water type. You're gonna get some tails, help you with some dishes. Use the tails as extra ingredients on your first dish of the event. Next is Piggy's decided that she will settle for this decent Totodile. Yes, it's shiny. That's one of the main reasons she's using it, but otherwise the stats are above average, not crazy good, helping bonus, helping speed. She doesn't have a sub-skill seed to spend on the helping speed, but she will use it. She's got 1,000 candies. She's gonna dump it all in the new week, evolve it to Feraligatr. Now, Psyduck, we've talked a lot about it. Over on Discord, over just on previous videos. Very good. It's got berry finding, skill trigger, main skill chance up. This one's very good, but in the first week, you're only getting +1 skill level and 1.5 times trigger rate. That's not enough to maximally utilize Golduck output. So I think match a berry specialist that you've got a strong berry type for, like Grappa Berry. You've got a very strong Raichu. So that's my recommendation. Until you can afford to raise this to level 6 or 7, or utilizing the skill trigger, skill level up of the second week, which is +3, then you would look at using Golduck. So in other words, right now it's not the time. Maybe in week 2, because if you evolve it to Golduck, you get 1 skill level. You get +3, so that's level 5. Maybe you can consider putting 1 main skill seed on it. Piggy is a free-to-play currently. She has 2 main skill seeds. Yeah. You can get 1 from the event exchange shop. So you should have a bit of leeway here and there. But then after the event, well, it's kind of useless because you're not gonna spend 5 seeds on that Golduck, are you? In total. So would you spend 1 main seed on something you can only use for a week? Which I'm highly questioning the value of this Golduck. So as a result, I think maybe considering all factors, it might be worth swapping out. So these 2 slots, you keep these 3, but the latter 2 slots will change to something that matches one of your favorite berries or ingredients needed. So we'll have to see. Hopefully Piggy rolls Grappa Berry. Also, you're a little short on shards, so you don't want to have too many things you're raising at once. You're already looking at raising Totodile. You can raise a bit off that Slowbro. So I'm thinking something like, well, like this. Your strongest berry specialists. Hopefully you get either electric or normal berry. You're guaranteed to have water berry. So something like this. If energy runs a bit low, you can throw in Gardevoir to help with the energy as well. Looking like Piggy's gonna do okay for the Suicune event. Yeah. As long as you get 1 or 2 good berries. Yeah. The other option for good berry for you, other than normal and electric, you could also look at using this one. Wouldn't be too bad to look at using Glaceon. So if we can get Ice Berry, because your Glaceon is actually berry finding, which is great. If you roll Ice Berry, I like it because it'll work well with Vaporeon. Yeah. Because Vaporeon gets so much boosted skill, it will just have too much ingredients. Yeah. Otherwise, your other strong berry specialists, we're looking at Meganium, high level, and that's it, I think. So grass, flying, normal, ice are all going to be nice berries for you. Wouldn't mind Psychic or Fairy, because then you can also run a healer for some bonus. Oh, I highlighted the wrong one. Of course, it's a regular guy. And then we'll look at ingredients at the end. All right, next we're gonna be taking a look at my account and how I'm going to prepare for the Suicune event. Now I am running expand pots, so cooking power up Pokemon, to try and increase my cooking capacity for the first day so I can dump some ingredients, dump some tails especially. I need about 100 or a little more slots for tails in the cooking pot on top of the recipe, and then whatever excess ingredients I have, I'll dump it in. Try to have enough ingredients for the first few meals, so don't just dump everything that you've got and then have no ingredients left for the remaining meals. So do be aware that your ingredients are worth a lot more if they actually are used in the recipe. So if it affects your ability to cook recipes by doing expand pot, don't do it too much. So this is my current expand pot team. They'll be running until they're low energy, then I'll swap them out and start building up berries. I have one of my earliest Pokemon for Alligator to Toilet here. Berry finding, helping speed, very powerful. Slept 2,000 hours. It's got the level 4 ribbon. The level 4 ribbon doesn't help it that much. It's just extra 8 inventory, which doesn't really help it. But it is water type, which is guaranteed to be a favorite berry for the 2 weeks. So this will be with me the entire time of the 2 weeks. And it'll be farming some oil, mostly oil, and some sausages. As you can see here with level 60 unlock, I don't need oils at all. So for salads, I feel comfortable with, although salads are not my strong suit because the other ingredients in salads I'm not as prepared to farm. So I have a very good Victory Bell, which will do mostly potatoes and a little bit of tomato, which means I'm struggling a little bit on tomatoes. And then I do have a really good corn farmer. So green grass salad is a reasonable choice for me, except that none of these Pokemon will be water type. So unless they also match favorite berry, I'll be in a little bit of trouble. One advantage I do have is that Quagsire is a water type, and I do have a really good Quagsire already, so I'm covered for mushrooms. But then for Ninja Salad, for beans, and for ginger, I don't have a water type for those. And same situation with leeks. I do have a really good golem now for beans, so I'm not worried about that, but I am worried about leeks. My current best leek farmer is a Ditto, which I don't want to raise anymore because at level 60 it's not tails. And I don't have an excellent ginger farmer, although a lot of my berry specialists do cover ginger. So as long as I can match some of the other favorite berries, for example, I can use my Marowak, which has triple ginger, then if it's a ground berry, then it will be suitable to use during the next week, of course, without the water type buffs. However, these dishes are a little bit lower level than what I have for curries. My current curries are the strongest, highest level. In fact, I've maxed out corn keema curry. I do have a Dragonite that does herbs. I do have an excellent Charizard that does sausages, but neither of these are, again, water type, so I'm hoping to see that either of them will be favorite berry as well. Dragonberry especially because I have Berry Finding S. Once again, I've got Beware for this. I have Berry Specialist for ginger. As for Ninja Curry, once again, struggling for leeks. I have no problems with mushroom. In fact, even my primate will farm enough of 5 mushrooms for the meals. For beans, once again, I have Golem, but not water type. Some of you may be using a beans Quaquaval, so that could be an option, but just be aware that if you evolve it fully, then it's not water type anymore. So you might be using Quaxwell for water type berry until after the event, then maybe you'll evolve it afterwards. I've done some math, so there are some benefits of keeping it as Quaxwell, even though, of course, Quaxwell is a slower Pokemon than Quaquaval, so you should overall be farming a bit less, but there are some benefits, some perks during this water event with the bonuses. As for Dream Eater Butter Curry, I don't think I'll have much of a chance to cook that unless I see a lot of using Blastoise, then Cacao and Milk can be done reasonably well. I do have a Cacao Blastoise, and separately I do have a Squirtle that's triple milk that I can use should I run low on milk. So in fact, Cacao is more of a problem. And once again, I have a half decent Mr. Mime for tomatoes. I have a Venusaur that does tomatoes at level 30, but then I don't need honey in curry, so the base ingredient isn't great. So one of the situations that I've described many times before with mixed ingredient specialists is that they just end up farming useless stuff when you just want the one ingredient. I do have Victory Bell that can do both of these. Victory Bell mostly focused on potatoes, of course, unless you have a Meowscarada for potatoes. As for desserts, I'm trying to avoid having to cook Explosion Popcorn, one of the slightly lower pot size and also slightly lower recipe bonus dishes. I would try to avoid that, even though I do farm a lot of oils with my Feraligatr. So I'm trying to cook one of these dishes. So for those dishes, I have prepared enough eggs. I've prepared about 100 eggs, not because I'm going to force desserts, but because in case I roll desserts with good berry choices, then I'm still set for it. If I don't roll desserts, all my eggs will just be extra ingredients. No problem, I just have to farm the ingredients along the way throughout the week. I do have Blastoise again for Cacao and Milk. I don't have a mono honey option, but Nightcap Pikachu does honey as well. So I'll have a little bit of relief from Nightcap Pikachu. With about 100 eggs, I can only cook about 4 flower gift macarons. If it comes down to this, then I'll either need to avoid that dish and just cook maybe tea time scones, or have to use my kind of mid Abomasnow that has berry finding, not too much ingredient. It is level 30 eggs. It does have berry finding, so if I roll Ice Berry, that would be great. Additionally, my Ice Berry is very strong. I have an excellent Walrein helping bonus berry finding. So if I did roll Ice Berry, it would be great to run it with desserts, because then I can run both Walrein and Abomasnow for the berry finding Ice Berries. But on desserts, I'm kind of struggling for ginger. I don't have a mono ginger Tyranitar invested yet. So once again, unless my other favorite berry is, say, ground type, then I can use my Marowak that has ginger. So I'm expecting the situation to not be perfect. And look, that's the beauty of the game, is that there's sometimes just not a perfect solution to everything. So just look at the combination of favorite berries and dish type that you get and hope for the best. Don't forget, it's a good time to use your helper whistles at the start of the week, especially on the week that you can't reach Master 20 normally, and you are trying to reach Master 20. So try and use it ahead of time, because then the effects will roll on to the rest of the week. Use your ingredient tickets at the start of the event to help replenish your ingredients so that you can avoid using ingredient specialists and just go all out with your berry specialists on the first few days. Really get that drowsy power up. Use your ingredient tickets to help you replenish your stocks, but of course you'll probably still want some ingredient specialists, maybe mono ingredient specialists, to help cover for things you might be missing. So with that being said, what is my current team building for the Suicune event? Now this will probably completely change the moment I find out what my favorite berry and what my dish type is, but just to give you an idea, my current sleep team will be something like this, mostly berry specialist. Slowbro here is a little on the slow side, but it is favorite berry. It does get 2 berries every time. It will probably work out approximately equal to something else that is not favorite berry, let's say Walrein, but then Walrein gets 3 times berries. So I'm using it for that, but it is a lower level. So don't forget the berry strength is largely related to the level of the Pokemon, but of course also the frequency and also the ingredient rate. But the first 2 factors are much bigger of a factor than usually the ingredient rate. So of course I would alter this sleep team, the berry focused sleeping team, with whichever matches the favorite berry. And then I've got my day team. Now I haven't put in any ingredient specialists yet because, well, again, I don't know what I'll get for ingredient specialist. Day team, I usually run a healer, probably not in the first few days though. I would use my energy pillows. If you've got an excess of energy pillows, even free-to-play players generally have enough energy pillows. Like Piggy, I know she has a lot of energy pillows. So maybe don't run your healer and just focus on farming on the first few days of each week, because then you can just use your energy pillows to replenish. Do be aware that you might still need 1 or 2 triggers from your Gardevoir or Wigglytuff despite using pillows, because most people won't be doing naps for this event, because mains only drop in the first sleep session of the day. If you do a nap, then that's when the mains will drop and you won't get very much, because usually a nap is quite a short session. So my berry finding team. So the second member here is my main skill level 7 helping bonus berry finding Walrein. So even if it doesn't match, or if it does match, that's even better. But looking at the ingredient magnet here, I might not even care whether I get the +1 ingredients on my water Pokemon during this week. And then for the 3 slots, if I'm not running healer, I'll be running some of my other berry specialists to match favorite berry, or I'll be running one of my ingredient specialists. So let's say Blast Milk here, who has a cacao focus with some milk and a decent amount of speed and ingredient finding up. So quite a decent cacao farmer if I need. I've got Letdown here, who has triple milk, helping bonus, helping speed, and speed up. So I will raise this if I need the milk. I will immediately raise it to level maybe 50 and also evolve it to Blastoise. Of course, many of you already know about my Trafalgar, who has mushrooms. If I happen to need mushrooms on any of the ninja dishes, it'll come out for a little bit. It probably won't stay on the team for long. Yes, it's a water type, but look at the ingredient rate on this thing. It's huge. It's not actually going to farm much berries at all. And that's a good thing normally. So you'd think that even for ingredient specialists we want water types? Well, that's actually not necessarily true, because this thing will farm so well on the mushrooms with the +1 especially, that it will just fill my bag. I don't need that much mushroom, so it will rotate out very soon for something else. And that's all I have for water types. I've only just got 2 Blastoise. I've got Slowbro that isn't even Tails at level 60. I might raise this to level 50 just for the ingredient finder, so I get more chance at Tails. But the alternative is to run maybe one of my better Slowpokes. Ditto Tail here has level 60 Tails, it has ingredient finder, it has ingredient finder again, it's got helping speed. So I actually should be switching out my investment for this. Having said that, because this one doesn't have berry finding, it becomes a bit tricky which one I should use, because the other one produces double the berries. Overnight sneaky snacking, there's some benefits of using this Slowbro as well, until I have to go to level 60, then I don't want to use this anymore. Ditto Tail will be farming better Tails at level 60 than that Slowbro. Of course, there's also Suicune that you could use. We don't fully know its stats yet. If you're a beginner, there was a good tip from the comment section last time for beginners to be using Suicune, especially with the event bonuses for this event, because you're going to get +1 or +3 main skill level. If you just started the game, that's a huge boost to your Snorlax strength, because a skill specialist with that much skill, well, it's got to be good. But you just got to be aware that Suicune is only good if the rest of your team is at least respectable or reasonable. So you've got a number of matching favorite berry Pokemon, or have the correct ingredients being farmed on your other Pokemon, then Suicune will be even better. For long-term players like myself that's invested a lot of good Pokemon already, it takes a very good legendary in order for us to actually be considering investing in a Suicune. And don't forget, the first Suicune everyone catches is the same, the stats are the same. I do have Mr. Zero here. I haven't shown this one for a while. It has helping bonus berry finding. I can have this up to level 25, maybe up to level 50, maybe even just as a second evolution Croconaw for the Suicune buff. I haven't done the maths on it, but it sounds like a reasonable approach to using this as well. Unfortunately, I've dumped all of my candies into raising my Feraligatr, so there's not a lot of candies left for this Totodile to use. And it needs to be at least 25 and evolve once to be relatively usable. So this is more of a consideration rather than actually useful to me right now situation. Hopefully that helps some of you guys in terms of team building. Good luck with the Suicune event. I'll see you guys at Green Grass Isle for the next week. Remember, choose Green Grass Isle.